Alright. Okay, today we're just going to demonstrate how to repair a minor dent using a stud nail gun and a body hammer. Stud nail gun to raise the lows out, and use a hammer to hammer down the highs. So, first of all, you want to grind your area. In order for the stud nail gun to work, any area has to be metal. If there's any paint there, it's not going to make contact, and the nail won't stick to it. So you want to grind it with something coarse, 24 grit. That'll get the paint off really fast. One thing you want to be careful of, though, is not to overgrind this area. This thing can cause some mistakes. Grinding too much metal off is a common mistake. You don't want to do that. And you also, if you keep the grinder in one spot too long, you'll get to overheat the metal, and that can cause your panel to warp. So you want to keep your panel, your grinder moving, and you want to do it in a buffing pattern. You don't want to do a lot of crisscross at that time because that will remove too much metal. Want to be sure and wear a dust mask and face shield to prevent any injury. And also note, you want to think about water, who's around you. If there's surrounding glass that you're working on, you want to be sure and put a welding blanket on it, because these sparks can hit glass, or there's others working around you. And also, if the grinder's working this way, the sparks are going to go that way. You can kind of direct which way your sparks are going, so kind of keep that in mind. So you want to kind of go that way, so you might want to move from over there. So basically, to start off with, this is the damaged area right here. I'm going to grind about 4 inches past that. So. Notice how I'm keeping that grinder moving kind of fast. If you keep it in one area, it's going to overheat the metal. Okay, I've got the area grinded. Notice I didn't grind too much, overheat the metal. So you can cause warpage by doing that. You still got the damage. You can fill in here, right around in here, the low area. There's not a lot of lows and highs in this because it's just a minor damaged area. So, and keep in mind too, with these real minor dents, grinding does produce heat. Sometimes that will move some of the dent out on its own. So, but there is still some minor damage right around in this area. So I'll fill a low right there. And you want to be sure that you have your safety glasses when doing this too, because sometimes this will create a spark. That's a nail that we put in here. What this gun does is basically when you pull the trigger and this all makes contact to the metal, it'll just basically weld that onto the metal. So. It's probably such a small dent, probably just one nail is enough. Whenever you see it glow, that's good enough. You don't want to keep it on there too long, or else you'll overheat the metal. You know, about a count to 3, 1, 2, 3, and then let off. That usually is about the right amount. If it's not long enough, your nail's just not even going to stick at all. If it's too long, you might well burn a hole through there, or else get it real hot where you cause a lot of additional damage. So
they make different diameters of the studs.
Yes, there is different diameters. These are the smaller ones. But anyway, this is a body slide hammer. This can be used with your nails. You put them on there, tighten it up, you pop your damage out. However, I really don't like to use these a lot because we want to make the metal go back, you know, to where it belongs. This is going to force the metal. Really don't like to do that. I like to, at the same time, I like to make it multi-pull by tapping in on the highs and pulling out in the lows, kind of rolling the metal back. I'd use this only as a last resort. But as far as this one, I'm just going to use one of these because we don't need a lot of force. This will probably do most of the repairs you need to do. Okay, you put this on there, and this is going to pull up on your low area. And if you remember, there's a little bit of a high area over here. Not a lot, not like your bigger dents are going to have, but it still has a little bit of a high area. So instead of just trying to force that dent out, I'm going to put some force on it. I mean, you got to put, you know, quite a bit of force. You don't want to just hold it. You want to be pulling on it. And I'm going to kind of tap the high area in towards the low area. Get the dent to where you think that it feels pretty good, you can take some something like this to cut this portion of the nail off, and it leaves the little bit on there, so we're going to have to grind that off. So once we grind that off, we can make sure it's where we want it, and if it is, we can start preparing it for body filler. Spark's gonna go that way, so. Also notice that I kind of go on that lightly. I do not want to just sit there and just grind it till it gets real hot, or you're gonna warp the metal. So let it cool. The last thing you want to do is warp the metal. So once you determine it feels pretty good enough for filler, you're ready to apply the filler. But what do you want to do next? Is we want to prepare it for the body filler. In order to do that, we want to cross grind it and make it just as rough as possible for the body filler to stick. So I'm going to grind out just a little bit bigger of an area, and then I'm going to do a cross grind. We already have felt of it, and we know that it feels good. So once you're to that point, there's no need to touch it anymore. It's really not a good idea to, once it's cross-grinded and the metal's clean, to touch the metal before you add the body filler, because the oils in your hand may cause an adhesion problem. So I'm going to go ahead and cross-grind it and get it ready. Now to do the cross-grind, I'm just going to grind it, and you notice I'm just going to kind of go at angles to just make the pattern cross as much as possible. So now that it's cross-grinded, there's really no need to touch it anymore until you add the body filler.